Mr. Moody, you have 4 children. Would you tell me their names and the relationship?
Yes, when my wife and I met, she was a widow with 2 young children, Melanie and Jason. And after we married, I adopted her 2 children, and then we had Ramona. And now we have adopted a 4th child, Elizabeth, a Korean child.
Why did you decide to adopt a Korean child?
Uh, it's not as easy to adopt children in this country as it is to adopt foreign children because there are so many foreign children who need homes.
And it was because you saw a need there, then?
Yes, right.
How about you? What do you feel, Mrs. Moody, was a real special reason for adopting a Korean child?
Well, we had always wanted more children, and when we applied here for a child, we had already had 3 children. And because we had 3 children, they said other people need children that don't have any. So we looked in other directions, and we felt this is where God led us, was to this particular child. And she's a very special child.
And she belongs to all of you?
Yes, very special. Belongs to all of us.
Have you had what kinds of problems, or what does a parent encounter when they have a minority child living in their home?
Well, we have had very few problems so far. We've only had Elizabeth 2 months. We have not run into any prejudice yet. We know that we probably will as she begins to get older and as she goes to school.
How about your other children? How do they?
They adore her, just absolutely adore her. I told someone one time that the only problem was there was only one of her. It's always, well, you played with her, it's my turn to play with her now. I have no problems with babysitters at all. I have 3 marvelous babysitters. And it's just wonderful.
Would it be hard for a person who wanted to adopt a minority child to do it?
I really don't know how difficult it is. It was not difficult for us. Here in Alabama, we went through the Holt Adoption Agency in Eugene, Oregon to adopt Elizabeth. They approved us as adoptive parents, and then we went through the Alabama Pensions and Security Department. They did a case study on us, investigated our backgrounds, financial aspects and everything like that, and then they approved us as adoptive parents. Most people would have to go through the same process. You can adopt through a private agency, but we felt it was better to go through the Pensions and Security because it's better legally. That way the child is really legally yours. We waited 18 months from the time we first applied. We understand this is a fairly normal length of time. If you adopt here in the United States, there is sometimes a longer waiting period because they're trying to match the child's background to yours. Elizabeth matches me in looks because she has dark hair and dark eyes. But, of course, our backgrounds don't match. But that's not important if you love a child. That's all that's necessary.
She was in a foster home in Korea?
Yes, she was in a foster home. She was fortunate enough to be in a foster home. The agency that we adopted her from tries to put children under 2 years old in a foster home because children that young will suffer from a disease called failure to thrive. They may be getting food and clothing, but if they don't have love, they just give up and die.
There are many hard-to-place children. I understand that there's some 120,000 in the United States that are in foster homes that could be legally adopted. And this has been somewhat of a problem in having enough people who come who have the backgrounds who want to adopt children. And I understand that you don't have to be rich to adopt a child.
No, you don't. We're not rich by any means. It used to be that that was one of the requirements, is that you had a certain number of rooms in your house and you had a certain amount of dollars that you had to make before you could adopt a child. But now they realize that it's most important that a child have love. Single people are able to adopt now, where in the past they were not able to. These 120,000 children that you were talking about, I understand most of them are between the ages of 4 and 6, and they are considered hard to place. I find it very hard to understand that a 4-year-old is not wanted. We would take any 4 to 6-year-old child, but so many people want little babies, and they think, well, you have to have a little baby from the time he's born in order to teach him, but you don't. A child is yours from the moment you begin to love him, and he's yours for life.
A lot of the children that could be adopted are physically or mentally handicapped, and I understand that there's a government subsidy that if a person, because the medical expense sometimes is so high, that a person can adopt a child and they can get a subsidy to help with the
Yes, I
child.
believe so. And Senator Mondale has proposed, I believe it's Senate Bill 1593, that is pending now. And since he is our Vice President-elect, we hope it will be passed, that will allow these children to be adopted. So many of the children are placed in foster homes and they never hear from their natural parents again, but they have not been released for adoption. This bill will, after 2 years of non-attention from their parents, they've not heard from their parents have not wanted them at all, they will be placed for adoption. This will be handicapped children as well as non-handicapped children.
Most of the children that are available are minority children, and it's important to realize that there are many children that are available for adoption. As a matter of fact, in Alabama and in the South, not as many children have been adopted as have been adopted in some other areas, for example, along the northeastern seaboard. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One reason is that there are fewer agencies, and another reason is that there's just not enough information. People don't know where to go or what to do in order to get a child, to adopt a child. This is particularly true in the black community, and national organizations are trying to get in touch with the black communities to let them know that children are available, because there are many, many black children that are available. There are children all across the racial spectrum that are available, and it's important, if you are seriously thinking about adopting a child, to think just that. Adopt a child, because babies are hard to come by. This is Ivy Berman reporting for Composite.